Jennifer,
Hi.
we speak to each other quite a lot,
We
and
do.
business seems to be going quite well for you at the moment.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I mean, obviously, starting up a new business not long before COVID was interesting. But things are looking really, really bright and really positive. I'm not an operator myself, but I am a business owner, so I've obviously felt the impact as we all have. But I work in mental health, and what's lovely is that at the moment we can provide people with very much needed resources and content and help them on this journey. You know, everyone's health and well-being has taken an absolute battering. The statistics are absolutely staggering since lockdown. So it feels good. It feels good to have a purpose and be able to help people at this time.
Well, I can't wait to see what you're going to show for us today and the viewers at home. So over to you.
Thank you. Hi, it's so nice to be here today. Thanks to Liam and Pete for inviting me to talk and tell you all about me and what I do. My name's Jennifer, as I alluded to earlier in conversation. I run a mental health and wellbeing initiative, but I haven't always done that. So I'd like to give you a little bit of a background about me and how I came to do what I do today. So I grew up in a small village in Glasgow. Aspirations were to be Vivienne Westwood or a famous dancer. So I went to university and studied fashion design for 5 years. Initially thinking, again, I was going to be some kind of crazy fashion designer taking on London, Paris Fashion Week. And then I went to Ibiza on holiday with my friends. And that's when it all changed for me. I stayed and worked the season and discovered a love for the music business, something that I'd never, ever sort of felt myself in, drawn to before. I worked all summer and I came home and I went back to university, and this happened every single summer. So my priorities in fashion and university went like that every single year, and music went up. So I was very, very lucky, as I say, to have spent summers in the island from 1996 through to 2003, which we would now call, I think, the wonder years for those who enjoyed the island. And through those years, I was lucky enough to work with some of the biggest club brands that there are today. My years in Ibiza had me working with a great club brand called Renaissance, traveling the world, learning the trade, and really sort of climbing the ladder until I moved to London when I was in my early 20s and got a job at Ministry of Sound, which was a dream country for me. And I ended up working there for 7 or 8 years, initially going in to help with the touring and events business, and then taking it over and eventually running a sort of 2,000 a year global events business with a massive team running events with Ministry of Sound and Head Candy and lots of other brands. And it was the time of my life. I had the opportunity to travel, meet great people, and just, experience things that every young person should. This is what my passport looked like from day to day. Every single weekend I was in a plane. I was traveling somewhere, I was going somewhere, I was having sleepless nights, I was getting on planes, spending time in hotels, a lot of it on my own, realizing the isolation and the loneliness that comes with it, as well as the fun when you have that. Really, I was burning the candle at both ends. I was traveling, I was working, I was partying all night, I was having the time of my life, but actually I was probably fast approaching a major burnout at a young age. But back then, the term burnout didn't really exist. It only became a proper medical term about 18 years ago. So back then it was acceptable to go out and party and rage and, have the time of your life, but not look after yourself. But then in 2016, only a few years ago, that's when things really, really changed for me. I was still working in events, traveling the world, organizing festivals, not really thinking long term about what it is I wanted. And then this little monkey came into my life, flipped everything upside down and changed my perspective. And actually, it was the kick up the backside that I needed to really, really pull back and really take stock of what I wanted for my future. I guess it made me realize that I didn't want to travel anymore. I didn't want to have this crazy disco party lifestyle. So I hung up my disco pants and found my purpose. At the time, I was working for a brilliant independent music company called AEI Group, initially running their events business, then going on to working more of a kind of people and culture role within the company, which looked like overseeing the team, dealing with partnerships, I guess kind of wearing a bit of an HR hat, unofficially. And And I realised I actually really loved it. I loved helping people. I loved helping people with their problems, their issues, their day-to-day, helping them find solutions for things, which is something which I hadn't really done previously in my work. Now looking forward into why I do what I do. Approximately 1 in 4 people in the UK will experience a mental health problem each year. That is prior to the pandemic. 1/6 of workers were experiencing a mental health problem at any given time. Stress, anxiety and depression are thought to be responsible for almost half of working days lost in Britain. These figures have absolutely soared now in recent months, so people need help more now than ever. Deloitte reports in the past 2 years, and we're talking pre-COVID, the cost of poor mental health to UK employers increased by a staggering 16%, costing the UK economy £45 billion. However, a recent study found that 41% of the UK's population's mental health is now at risk because of the COVID-19 crisis. It is more important now than ever that employers take the mental health and well-being of their people seriously and maintain a positive culture where people are able and free to talk about their mental health. So how can we help? Getahead. In 2018, we launched a not-for-profit movement which aimed to positively impact 1 billion people in the next 25 years. 1 billion people, yes. Getahead has 3 pillars: health, development, and fun. With Getahead, we tackle people's mental and physical health. We tackle their personal and professional development. And then we have the fun element, which is absolutely crucial: comedy, spoken word, music, dancing, multisensory experience. We're so lucky we work in partnerships with some absolutely incredible organisations, other charities. We're an organisation based on collaboration and partnership. So for us, it's key that we work with other charities and non-profits out there in the mental health and wellbeing space. Help Musicians, Nightline Association, Mind, the list goes on. Fabulous organisations out there doing great work. Getahead aims to change the narrative around mental health, normalise the stigma surrounding it and open up the conversation. I mean, I really think the best way to kind of summarise what Getahead is to show you a little video from our 2018 festival, which was our first Getahead festival, which we launched in London, which was tagged as the first 24-hour festival of the head.
What this festival does is opens a whole new world where people can connect with each other.
Off the handle.
What Getahead is trying to achieve is to raise the profile of mental health, normalising it. Yeah, the sooner we start talking about it, the better it is going to be for everybody.
Talking about mental health and wellness, but wrapping it in a festival setting, I thought was genius.
Everyone was just going for it, and that's what it was all about.
I'll be holding you.
Their energy was amazing.
I'll be holding you. I'll be holding you.
Help Musicians UK is really proud to be working with Getahead.
I'll be holding you. I'll be holding you.
Fitness infused with music, infused with happiness. To me, it's the most important.
To do an event with colour and creativity and music and partying until 6 a.m, I think is fantastic.
Off the back of the first festival in 2018, we created this kind of lightning rod moment where people came together, created a new inclusive community where people weren't scared to talk and share and open up and you know, be themselves. That festival then led on to becoming more of a movement. And now we have meetups, blogs, ebooks, an online community. We have a record label and a podcast. So what started as a kind of crazy seed of an idea with a big 25-year ambition has actually led on to being the most incredible community of people. Getahead Records. 2018, alongside the first festival, we launched a record label for our sins and decided to put together an album for charity, with charity. A good friend of ours who was in the band Pendulum came together and got tracks from The Prodigy and Chasing Status and all the biggest tracks in drum and bass. And we released an album the week before the first festival in partnership with Help Musicians, and it went straight to #1. So there was a real sort of lovely celebratory moment. You know, we had the festival, we had the album, and then we launched a podcast series. So it's called Behind the Curtain. What we want to do is we want to take a kind of peek behind the curtain of real people's lives and ask them the all-telling questions that they don't want to be asked. We do this online, and we also film them live as well. The interesting thing now is, over the last few years, we started working more with our partners on what their kind of corporate wellness and their day-to-day requirements were for their people, and very, very quickly started helping companies and organizations with their well-being strategies for their teams. So when lockdown happened this year, we had been planning to set up Getahead as a corporate entity, start taking it into the workplace. But then we made the decision that we were going to apply for charitable status for Getahead, which is what we're doing now. So Getahead remains our community purpose-building, non-profit, hopefully soon to be charity. And we launched Work Inspired, a consultancy business which is dedicated to supporting the mental health and well-being of organisations, both in and out of the workplace. We curate programmes in person, online, or a hybrid of both. And everything we do is bespoke and tailored to our clients' individual needs. We work with the industry leaders in mental health and well-being. We want to build well-being programs to have the duty of care for your people. We believe that addressing mental health, it doesn't need to be awkward or stressful with your team and your people. It needs to be fun and inspiring and engaging. Our aim is to optimize your people's psychology like you'd optimize your technology, systematically, strategically, creatively, and adding our secret sauce, which we say fun. We're really proud to have worked with some absolutely incredible partners and businesses over the last few years. Just a few of them up there to let you have a little look. We work with music industry, corporates, creative industries, hospitality. We aren't sector specific. We're very blessed to have a really wide portfolio of clients we work with. So what's next for us at the moment? We were due to have a festival last week. That's not going to happen. So during the lockdown, we ran a series of online virtual festivals for Getahead, taking some of the brilliant wellbeing talent that we work with and curating daytime programs for people to enjoy from home. And they were such a huge success. Next week, we launch a new online event series from a co-working space in Haggerston. And these are going to be happening monthly. They are free to join in if you want to sign up and stream it on the night. The festival is in the diary for June 21, COVID permitting. Really hoping we can bring that brilliant festival experience back to our community next year. And we relaunched the podcast with a brilliant new host this month as well, which is really exciting. Work Inspired, continue to work closely with our clients, helping them with their health and wellbeing needs, offering them that kind of all-important stress, satisfaction as they navigate their way out of this really, really difficult times, challenging and uncertain for everybody. I just want to leave you with the information on both companies. Getahead is our non-profit, Work Inspired is our consultancy business. Please have a little look, check us out on socials. And if I can be of any help, if you have any information, any questions, please just drop me an email at jenny@getahead.life. Thank you.
Jennifer, that was absolutely amazing. Thank you very much for that. And did everyone else enjoy that?
It was absolutely great.
Very much so.